let's talk about parallel and perpendicular lines and how to write graphs with them. So before we used points and slopes, we wrote equations of lines. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use those ideas and we're going to write equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. So you might ask yourself why, and one of the options we might have here is so that we can analyze growth rates. You know, like two things are growing at the same time, maybe they start in different places. We're going to use those to figure out, you know, maybe if one is rising faster or slower than the other, maybe they're rising the same amount. Okay, so here's our standard that we're going to be dealing with. It's geometry standard, and we're going to prove the slope criteria for parallel and perpendicular lines and use them to solve geometric problems. All right. So let's first talk about parallel lines. Parallel lines are going to have the same slope, right? They move across the graph in the same exact way. We're just going to have different y-intercepts, okay? And they need to start in different places. Perpendicular lines, these are going to have slopes that are negative reciprocals, okay? So you think about if a line is moving up, then in order for a line to be perpendicular to it, right, to meet and cross it at a 90-degree angle, then it is going to it's going to have to be a negative slope. So in this case, let's then talk about this idea of reciprocal. So a reciprocal is the reversed numerator and denominator. We're going to flip it, okay? And so if I have a number like 2/3, right, that's my slope. Okay, then if I want to do the reciprocal of that, I'm going to flip it. It's going to be 3/2. All right. Now, what about if I have something like 4? Well, 4 you need to understand is actually the 4/1. So I'm going to change that, and when I make a reciprocal, I'm going to get 1/4. Okay. All right. So we're going to write the equation of the line that passes through -3 and -5 and is parallel to the line y equals 3x minus 1. So in order to do this, we need to have slope and we need an intercept, right? Or we need a point and a slope, and then we could put it into point slope form. Either way, but this one we're gonna write this in slope intercept form. Okay. So first we're going to identify the slope. Okay. The parallel line is going to be the same, right? Parallel slope is the same as our original slope. So I know that my slope is going to be 3. Next, let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we are going to find, well, okay, so this line right here, the double lines, that means parallel. So my parallel slope is also going to be 3. Okay? Original slope 3, parallel slope 3. Next, let's find the y-intercept. Okay, well, if I know that this line goes through, let's use gold. If I know that this line goes through here, then I can use that point and plug it into this equation, right? And the reason is this original equation is in slope intercept, so then let's continue and let's use slope intercept to write our new our new equation, okay? So let's go ahead and plug this in. So I know that y is -5, okay? And I know that that's going to be equal to 3 times x, which is -3, and then whatever b is, right? Because I know it's y equals mx plus b, and I'm solving for b. Okay, so I get -5 is equal to -9 plus b. I'm going to add 9 to both sides, and I'm going to get b is equal to 4. Okay? And then we'll write our equation. Okay, so we'll plug it back in, and I get y is equal to 3x plus 4. Okay, and based on our previous standards, right, where you can understand, remember we did that thing where we changed k, we did f of x plus k. You can tell, hopefully, that this one, right, this line is going to be 5 higher than this one, right? It's the same line. It's just that this one is plus 4. This is -1, so it's going to be 5 above this line here. Okay, moving right along. Let's do it again. Write an equation of the line that passes through -2, 11 and is parallel to the line y equals -x plus 5. Why don't you go ahead and you try solving this one. You try writing the equation on your own. Go. All right, first step. Let's identify the slope. My slope here is going to be -1. Parallel slope is the same, so my parallel slope is -1. Now, let's go ahead and let's find the y-intercept. Okay, so I know that it's y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to plug in my points, and I'm going to get 11 is equal to -1 times -2 plus b. That's going to be 11 is equal to 2 plus b. So b must be 9. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and plug that back into my original, right, to the mx plus b. I know that m is negative 1. I know that b is 9. So I get y is equal to negative x plus 9. Okay, and then you'll realize that this line here, is 4 above this line and travels across at the same steepness, right, because the slope is the same. Okay. Whoops. Do that. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so now we're going to write the equation of a line that passes through negative 4, negative 5, and is perpendicular to the line y equals 2x plus 3. Steps are really the same. First, let's identify our slope. Our slope in this line, right, is going to be 2. All right, so now my perpendicular slope is the negative reciprocal. Okay, so that means this one is a positive line, which means my parallel slope or perpendicular slope is going to have to be negative. And then I'm going to have to flip this. Well, this is 2 is really up to for every 1 that I travel to the right. So it's a 2 over 1. So when I do the reciprocal, I'm going to get 1/2. So the negative reciprocal the negative reciprocal will be negative 1/2. Okay? And this is perpendicular. Okay? You can see this is a perpendicular line, and that's what that's saying. So we're saying the perpendicular slope here is negative 1/2. Okay, now let's find the y-intercept. Okay, we'll do the same thing. We'll do y equals mx plus b. Well, y is negative 5, and m is negative 1/2, and x is negative 4, and then we'll figure out what b is. Okay, so let's go ahead and get negative 5 is equal to, well, what's half of 4? That would be 2, and it's going to be a positive, so I get 2 plus b. So b is equal to negative 7. Okay, subtract 2 from both sides. Okay, go ahead, plug that back into our original equation, and I get y equals negative 1/2 x minus 7. Okay, and that's going to be a perpendicular line there. All right. Why don't you go ahead and you try this one? All right, go. All right. So let's identify the slope. So in this case, the slope of my line is 4. The perpendicular, right? The perpendicular is going to be a negative reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 4 is 1/4, and then the opposite, or negative positive, would be a negative slope. So I'm going to get a perpendicular slope of negative 1/4. Then let's go ahead and we'll plug that into our equation so we can find the y-intercept. So I get y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to get y, which is 3, is equal to negative 1/4 times 4 plus b. So I get 3 is equal to 1/4 of 4 is 1, and that would be a negative 1 plus b. So b is equal to 4. Okay. Now, let's go ahead, we'll write the equation, and I get y is equal to negative 1/4 x plus 4. Okay, hopefully this is making a lot of sense to you. Let's go ahead, and we'll practice some more of this in class on the following day. Okay, hopefully this made sense.